Gerard Williams Show. Coming to you live. With the best in talk radio. Hey, my friends. This is T. Gerard Williams of the T. Gerard Williams Show, your host and your executive producer. Hey, listen, my friends, I've got some things that I want to share with you today, and I want to start out by trying to help out some of my friends out in Brookfield, Illinois. That's right, Brookfield, Illinois, right out there by the Chicago suburbs. Hey, but listen. The reason I'm trying to talk to you about them today is because I've got some friends, like I said, the McCarrells that are out there, and they are going through some of the ups and downs of life, and right now they're on the downside. And what we want to do is to share some information with you that would help you to help them. They have set up a GoFundMe account to help avoid being evicted. Right now, they have just a little time left before the sheriff comes knocking on the door, and we know how that is. And maybe you haven't been there, but you've seen somebody or know somebody who's been there, and it's not a good feeling. They've been through the county looking for help, and you know how it is. Funds are not available, and everywhere you go, they've all been tapped out, and you can't get the help that you need. Everybody say, come here for help, but when you get there, there is actually no help. In fact, the only way you're going to get help these days is to tap into the T. Gerard Williams Show and let us go ahead and tell the world about your situation. All right, like I said, they're on the verge of being evicted, but you know, this isn't just some people who just happen to be about to be evicted. They got into this mess, man, I tell you, because, you know, Andrea's husband was working and he got mugged, and they beat him up in May of this year, and he was out of work because, I mean, he was beat up and he was out for like a month and a half. And you know, a lot of us are just a paycheck away from being homeless, but they fell behind on all their bills, and especially the rent. And now, even though he's back at work, but he's in a kind of job where he relies on tips and, delivery charges that they give you when you're working in that type of business. And so they're falling even deeper and deeper in this hole. And they are looking at it from the bottom of the hole, thinking that nobody's going to help them. So they need to move. They need to try to go ahead and move the furniture. They're behind on their electric bill. They're behind on some other little things. And it's imperative, my friends, that we learn to help each other. In the world that we live in, if we don't help each other, then there is no help available. So what we're looking to do is to try to promote their GoFundMe page, and where they can go ahead and get a few donations. I'm looking at their donate page right now, and in just a short time that they've had it up, they've had a couple of people put a couple of dollars, and they're asking everybody to try to put in $5 to help. But if you want to help, let me just go ahead and give you the GoFundMe page. It's www.gofundme.com/homeless give to end it. Now let me spell that before you, because they spelled it a little differently than I would have, but hey, it works. It's gofundme.com/homeless HOMELESS GIV 2 ENDIT. Homeless give to end it. So we want to try to promote that for them. Now, Andrea has her own little issues. In the midst of these issues, in the midst of these pains, she suffers from ulcerative colitis. Now, some of y'all don't know what that is, but it's a horrible joint and back pain thing that goes on. And I tell you, if you haven't had pain before, you don't want this, because this thing is crippling. And so she has been experiencing, because of the stress of this, she's been experiencing some attacks, some UC attacks. And we don't want them to get so bad that she ends up in the hospital again. So because if that happens, then her husband will have to stop working to take care of her and the 10-month-old daughter that they have. And you know, when you really need help, somebody to watch the kid while somebody's working or somebody's, suffering, you can't find anybody to do it. So nobody's actually stepping up to help them while he works. So they've got to put money together for a security deposit, first month rent, got to pay off some past due bills like the car and the electricity, and then they got to move the belongings like I told you. They got to put some stuff in storage, and if they don't find a place to stay, then and get kicked out, then they've got to find some little cheap motel that they can stay in where they can, have some place to stay. We don't want them to stay out in a car, living in a car, especially with a baby, and especially in Chicago where it's starting to get just a little bit cold in Chicago. So I love Chicago, and I know how cold it gets. The fact the last time I was there, the day I left, coming back to Miami, they shut the airport down with, with how cold it was. So I know it's cold. So listen, we want to try to get these people some help. What I want you to do, my friends, this is what I really need you to do. Go to the website. I just gave it to you. GoFundMe. I'll give it to you again at the end of the show. But I want you to go ahead and at least commit to trying to step up with $5. If you can do a $5 donation, at least that will be some help. They're not asking you to try to put all the money in. And if you can, listen, try to help them, because we're talking about $2,700 security deposit for the first month rent and security deposit. And that's a lot of money right there. And so then you got to kind of pay off some other things, because you know that if you owe the electric company, and in this case it's ComEd, they don't transfer your stuff over till you paid the last bill. And so you can be in a place and you can still be out in the cold because the electricity is still not on. So what we want to do, my friends, is try and help them the best that we can. And we do that by stepping up and trying to help them out by donating to their cause. Once again, let me give you that GoFundMe account again. That's www.gofundme.com/homeless, HOMELESS, give, GIV, the number 2, end it, ENDIT. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, okay. So homeless, give to end it, with the number 2 instead of the word 2. All right, listen, we're doing all we can to try to help our friends out there in Illinois and in Brookfield. And we want you to do what you can. In fact, they've set a target amount. They've set a target amount of $6,500 to go ahead and not be homeless. They want us to help them from becoming homeless. And if it was you, wouldn't you want somebody to help you? And that's what we're doing here on the T. Gerard Williams Show. We're asking all of our listeners all across the internet, everywhere that you will be listening to this, either live or recorded, we want you to step up and help the McCarrells. They are a nice family of people who just have fallen on hard times, and we just need to help them out. So, having said that, my friends, please go ahead and do what you can to try and help. And if you can, help a lot. If you can, help a little. If you can't help at all, at least share the information with somebody that you know. All right, my friends, this is T. Gerard Williams with the T. Gerard Williams Show. And as always, I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye now. If you're talking about it, it's because we're talking about it. The T. Gerard Williams Show.